Vanessa Jimenez Gabb. She's a really fantastic poet. She comes to us all the way from New York. She was spending a few days here in Austin. I think it's her first time here in Austin. So hopefully you guys can make her feel welcome and at home after the reading. Right, so Vanessa is the author of Images for Radical Politics, which was the editor's choice in the 2015 Rescue Press Black Box Poetry Prize contest. Her chapbooks, Midnight Blue and Weekend Poems, they're both excellent chapbooks. You guys should check them out online if you can. Her work has been featured or is forthcoming in TimeOut New York, Jubilat, Brooklyn Poets, and elsewhere. And she received her MFA in poetry from CUNY Brooklyn College and lives in Brooklyn. Please welcome Vanessa.
Hi everyone, thanks so much. It's a very lovely way to visit somewhere for the first time. So I'm just going to read 4 poems from this book. Economic update. Working class wages have risen by 5 to 6% in China, where billionaires exist more than anywhere else. But this is not enough to offset the decline in wages for the American working class. When I got out of bed, it was spring, but not spring. Most of the ice gone back into the air, changing in ways that scare some of us. The baguette, the fruit, the sausage came to me when I ordered them. I had nowhere to be then, a whole blue sky, and I didn't leave for the blue sky. Naked, I did as many burpees as I could in 7 minutes, and still with nowhere to be then, with little breath to be. Governor Scott Walker proposed to cut the budget of state universities in Wisconsin by $300 million to change higher education from a way to understand the world and talk about it with the people around you to vocational training. Also in higher education news, Purdue University is offering students a new option to pay for their education. They can find an investor to pay for their education in exchange for a percentage of their future income. It felt good to say, let's buy something to eat and eat it in the park. After you read something, it either stays with you or it doesn't. I read a 38-page long poem from beginning to end and understood that I needed to read more to understand it more. But I became more and more hands and feet in the 600 square feet of this apartment and the morning glory through the window. Austrian central banking group Hypo Alpe Adria, a major lender in the middle of Europe, revealed it was short by 10 billion euros. They have no money. The government of Austria bailed out this bank to the tune of 1 million euros. One state of Austria, Carinthia, guaranteed 9 billion euros in loans despite its annual revenue of 2 billion euros. Among the creditors that Carinthia will not be able to pay are several large banks in Germany. Hypo Alpe Adria made huge amounts of homeowner loans in southeastern Europe. The people are in trouble and can't pay back the mortgages, which means they can't pay the bank, which means the bank has no money to pay back the people it borrowed from to get the money it lent to the homeowners. It feels unbearable to reiterate. To know what is needed is to become and how to become and to find new reasons to become, and what if we don't become together? This and 5 tacos and 2 margaritas for $24 have brought me to a surprisingly well-lit basement in a church by the park where, at the entrance, a man introduces himself as William and says, the man giving the talk is a liberal. He believes in improvement. 10% of the people own 90% of the wealth, and the internal logic says they have always sought out and continue to seek out the hinterlands. People come on the 2nd Wednesday of every month to this basement in this church to fill the seats, to be filled. We are almost a sea. Someone in the back is beginning to record, and we are silencing, and the almost sea is waiting to become the sea. This next poem, Sebastian was kind enough to publish in The Boiler. My father and I build a family tree. He names dead people as far back as 200 years. He or she would have remembered more, he says. It is not morbid, his saying this. I want to get it all, I say, in case you are hit by a car tomorrow. This is morbid. I like the way it feels to see the blood, the tiny red bugs crossing over. I smear neither white nor black, just alive a moment ago. His eyes a little wet, allergy in the body. Who gave this away before? Is it Caribbean to be intolerant? Is it indigenous to be intolerant? Human to be of flowers and dust sent into the air? This is either very glorious or too ceremonial. I have never asked this many closed-ended questions. I hope it doesn't feel punitive to know without sounding so imperious. I am sorry. Something has opened into more, and I am here, thinking of all the parts of me that died at the bottom of a long night, working, and if not working for the government, making it work in one room. The beginnings of ism or ism. How well can we know ourselves in different systems of being? Question, answer, parenthetical. He comes upon a bit of memory. I put it in the blanks. The men and women, this is how I will place them and remember them. If there is a blank, it will go on forever. Far enough into the ghosts. All the fucking everyone did is in our hair, the air about us, to be here in the backyard alive, spread like leaves, like buccaneers, pilferers in the rainforest. Institution. Don't get married. A great love does not exist without protest, my mother told me. Have a beautiful run without law, with protest. Organdy from birth with a godless belief in the system of things, in search of some twin being, a diadem in your mouth, you were named protest. I named you and you went, taking extremities into you for decryption, opening into wheat fields, your hands passing along without protest. Everything that passes for voyage is us awash in injustice. Mortal, mortal, being young we bleed, loving nothing more than protest. What could be more legitimate than an idea between us? Fatal or not, here or not, time must pass, and so we must protest. A love poem begins with hazard somehow, the concept of time, a cloud calling itself gas, only that, and I calling that protest. The Lady of Civilization, after Engels, the origin of the family, private property, and the state. No house I have today. I have a far-off reality, as do you. We were savage before we were barbarian, anthropologists say, and economists. I can say I have a memory of an opening, of walking into another epoch, but not a belief in it. This is called civilization. Ask me where I am, and I will ask you for the answer. What have we done? Us, but all of us. What could our love have been if not born from 18th century enlightenment? I could have been a forest, a mother among the Iroquois Seneca, a great clanswoman before the herds of horses, sheep, and pigs bred by the Euphrates. With milk and meat, rapidly men augment and learn a more advanced application of work and property. Men obtained food, and so the instruments of work, the division of labor, our division of labor being what it was. We worked so hard, didn't we? I believe we did in our ways, but where is the knowledge of this? Wealth increased, matriarchal law of inheritance was overthrown, but we have no knowledge of this either. The overthrow of mother right was the world historical defeat of the female sex. All things were turned into commodity. You brought to me the word marriage, and I asked what that meant. If history meant I was unfree, how found would we be? I wanted you to know I want to be a woman. I wanted you to know I have always been preoccupied by this, though you were not, and so were we doomed to know each other well enough to say goodbye? Or maybe we came to know nothing about each other, not even how to say yes. Just as I will sense my own fear with strange men, the way the world works its terror so that I will know you suddenly in them. The contradictions live in us in cellular form. I am not entirely without a place to live. Yesterday I fed our cats, then lay back in your bed. I imagined falling asleep. If you had found me waiting to be discovered because I want to be discovered, look, I have told you far more now than ever then about passion. Passion, the first form of rapture, remembered by the poets of the Middle Ages, writing about knights lying beside wives of other men. It is a long way to this I have. I am here, a winter of me and me. This frightening, those 12 years, a long time to do anything, to be someone. Where do people begin and end in that? We were in Chicago just 2 weeks before. We were sideswept by another car, shooting like a star. I swear, how is it that time passes without us ever being sideswept? That time passes without us having every single thing happen to us? You should go, the driver said. Go now. This is not mine. I shouldn't be here. Yet I saw myself here, endangered or not. I saw myself here, here where I am I more than I was. It has been about a longing for a future, which is a past, ruthless existence. Stay back, you say to yourself. You are always about to die. The communistic household in which most or all of the women belong to one and the same gens, while the men come from various gens, is the material foundation of that supremacy of the women, which was general in primitive times and which it is Bachoffen's third great merit to have discovered. The reports of travelers and missionaries, I may add, to the effect that women among savages and barbarians are overburdened with work, in no way contradict what has been said. The division of labor between the two sexes is determined by quite other causes than by the position of women in society. Among peoples where the women have to work far harder than we think suitable, there is often much more real respect for women than among our Europeans. The lady of civilization, surrounded by false homage and estranged from all real work, has an infinitely lower social position than the hard-working woman of barbarism, who is regarded among her people as a real lady, Frau, mistress, and who was also a lady in character. My human mind stands bewildered by things of which we are capable. I awake every morning and go to work and other places. The difference between now and then is that I am without you. That is clear, but not always true. Some days the day is a lie. Yesterday the morning sky appeared to me, but it was the smoke from a factory where people had been at work hours already. I wanted to tell you of skies I saw and talk with you about what made them that way and how even humans might change them. As you may have wanted to tell me many things that you became vast because of, impoverished because of, but never did, because that is how you continued without me, and I continued without you. Even when we were there together, we did all of that ourselves, the morning and the evening, the year measured by the retreat, our own vastness, our own poverty, our own sky, owners of these things, as if we could own them. That evening I drove and drove until I reached a mountain town. I parked and spent money at an apothecary on oils, masks, a candle named Serenity. People had settled there many years before and after had manufactured things that dirtied the marsh. Nothing left of what it was. It wasn't snowing, but it felt like it could be somewhere, nearly another state maybe. Miles for miles of water or ice and woods, mountains like that very one. And it was almost the same way. And then I drove home. Thanks.